The year is 2005 and the San Jose Sharks just lost in the conference finals to their old head coach and a goalie they basically just let go of for free. Instead of being able to run it back, there's an NHL-wide lockout which is shutting down the league for an entire season. The San Jose Sharks are 14 years into existing with a history of playing a defense-first game, but this lockout is changing some of the rules. Notably, they're adding a salary cap, calling penalties in a much higher clip, they're making goaltending equipment smaller, and they're adding shootouts. Oh, those are fun. Not because of the lockout, but coincidentally at the same time, there's these crazy prospects entering the league right now, Sidney Crosby and Alex Ovechkin. Hopefully they make the league just a little bit more exciting. So who plays for the 2005 San Jose Sharks? Patrick Marleau, the brand new captain of this team, is a lifelong Shark. Second all-time in franchise goals, third in points, and he's only 26 years old. Great skater, great shot, great player. We're all happy he's the captain. And he plays with Jonathan Cheechoo, a shoot-first winger who exploded for a career-high 28 goals last season. Marco Sturm is a center who plays a strong defensive game. He can contribute offensively, and he's going to be a huge part of this team going forward. Nils Ekman is a pass-first winger, great offensive chops. Our best defenseman is Brad Stewart. He's a defense-first, bigger body, left-handed defenseman who plays with Scott Hannon, another left-handed, bigger body, defense-first defenseman. Okay. We have Christian Ehrhoff. He's still kind of a prospect, but he looks like he could be our #1 offensive defenseman in a couple of years. We have some younger guys too, like Marc-Edouard Vlasic, this shutdown defenseman we drafted from the pick that we got from the Kiprusoff trade. We have Michalek, this forward who looks like he could score 30 goals in a couple of years. Gotch, Klo, and although Pavelski isn't playing the NHL, he's obviously our best prospect in the cupboard, but we got a lot of young guys. And all of these guys, they all play in front of Evgeny Nabokov, one of the league's premier goaltenders. The last time we played a game of hockey was in the conference finals against the Flames where we lost in 6 games. It's kind of taught us what it takes to actually win the cup though. You need offensive weapons, preferably 2 unbelievable centers with a couple extra unbelievable scoring options around them. Let's say 2 centers, 2 wingers. You need reliable defensemen and defensemen who can chip in offensively. Let's say a shutdown guy and an offense first guy, big bodies around them. You need a goalie who can step up at the right time, okay, and then depth contributions throughout the lineup. And then you need occasional heroes. I guess we have our checklist. Okay, well, the lockout stretched out over a year. We lost Dampus and Ricci, 2 of our best players and 2 of our best centers. So let's go get ourselves a center. We start the 05-06 season 8-12-4, one of the worst records in hockey. We suck, and it's pretty much impossible to get a #1 center to patch into the lineup. And Boston wants to trade away Joe Thornton, Brad Stewart, our best defenseman, Marco Sturm, the up-and-coming exciting 2-way center, Wayne Primo, old guy who makes money work. You're all Boston Bruins now, and Joe Thornton is a San Jose Shark. Alright, there's our #1 center. Joe Thornton is the best playmaker in the world. There is not a better passer in the world. Part of what makes him such a good passer is his ridiculous puck control. 6'4" beast. If you piss him off, he will get you back, by the way. His shot isn't necessarily amazing, but there might not be a single person in the world who is better at controlling the puck, finding someone to pass to, and then making the pass with unreal consistency. Joe Thornton is a San Jose Shark. This might be the best day in Sharks history so far, because Joe Thornton signifies the greatest era of Sharks hockey in its history. After being acquired, Thornton went on one of the craziest tears in hockey history. As a Shark, he had 20 goals, 72 assists, and 92 points in 58 games. Ended the season with 96 assists and 126 points. 126 points on the season. He won MVP. Like, obviously he won MVP. He won the scoring race, obviously. He even got Defensive Forward of the Year votes. And yeah, since being acquired by San Jose, Thornton Sharks have the 3rd best record in hockey and ultimately made the playoffs. Yeah, it's Joe Thornton's Sharks. Marleau is a captain. He's a heart and soul, but Thornton is the best player in the world. Thornton is actually so good that, remember Jonathan Cheechoo? He scored 28 goals. He's pretty good, right? He started this season with 7 goals in 24 games. Okay. In his first game on Thornton's line, he had 2 goals. He proceeded to have 49 goals in 58 games on Thornton's wing, winning the goal race. 56 goals. Jonathan Cheechoo. Patrick Marleau, by the way, 86-point guy now. 29-point jump in career high at 26 years old. That line of Cheechoo, Thornton, Marleau is maybe the best in hockey. This is the best offensive era of Sharks hockey in our history, but how does it do in the playoffs? First round against Nashville, they have Paul Kariya up front, this super quick winger, but probably not going to carry the team. On defense, they have a 20-year-old Shea Weber, 2024 Hall of Famer, by the way, Dan Hamhuis, Ryan Suter, and Kimmo Timonen. Man, watch out for this team going forward, but right now they're just not that experienced. San Jose won the series in 5 games, and Marleau had 7 goals and 8 points in those 5 games. Electric. So there's been a lot of good this year, but the only problem with this team is that Evgeny Nabokov is not that good anymore for the Sharks. He even lost his starting role come playoff time to Vesa Toskala. In round 2 against the Oilers, goaltending actually was the problem. Dwayne Rollison had a .931 save percentage for Edmonton. Toskala had an .897 for San Jose. You just can't win like that. Okay, so a lot has gone on this year already, but there's some good news and there's some bad news. Good news, we have one of the youngest teams in hockey. Bad news, Nabokov kind of lost his starting role, and Thornton just had a tough playoff run for being the MVP. The good thing about being young is that we can kind of just run it back though, right? McCallick, Ehrhoff, Klo, Bernier, and damn, even Pavelski are all taking big steps and filling in on the roster for the 06-07 season. Oh man, Matt Carl and Marc-Edouard Vlasic, this team is so young. You can't win games with such a young team. Actually, you can win games with such a young team. They just set a franchise record in wins with 51. If you looked back at Vlasic's point totals, you'd be a little surprised at how often I'm about to mention him as an integral piece, but this guy is a definition of showing up outside of the scorecard. His defensive game is so strong that he made Team Canada in 2014, won Olympic gold with them. There might not be a single better defensive defenseman in hockey with his new age mobility and defensive awareness. We got him with the Kiprusoff pick. How crazy is that? In the 2007 season, as a 19-year-old, he played heavy minutes and finished 6th in Rookie of the Year voting, in front of Evgeny Nabokov, the newest rejuvenated San Jose Shark. Thornton followed up the 126-point season with a 114-point season, hitting 92 assists. Gross. Captain Marleau is a point-per-game player. McCallick has grown into a 66-point power forward who can skate. Chichu had 37 goals, and apart from our crazy penalty killer Mike Greer, not a single guy in the top 11 in points is older than our superstar Joe Thornton, who's only 27 years old. This team is young as hell, and we're playing Nashville again in the first round. Guys, go away. Sharks win the series in 5 games. Round 2 against Datsuk, Lidstrom, Zetterberg. Oh man, these Detroit Red Wings are scary, and we lost in 6 games. There's a lot of reasons you could point to for this loss, but Captain Marleau having 0 points in 6 games and being a -5 it's not good enough. It was a close series too. Being a -5 in this series is actually insane. Detroit scored a total of 2 more goals than San Jose in this series. It was insanely tight despite it being 4-2 final. 3 of these games were 1-goal games. What makes it even worse, this is a season Marleau became the all-time Sharks leader in goals, assists, and points, all while wearing the captaincy. This is a learning moment for Patrick, and a learning moment for St. Louis's GM, who just traded away the 9th overall pick to San Jose so they can select Logan Couture. Huge pickup. This is a great prospect. Skill, hockey sense, everything. He's defensively responsible. He's known how to lead throughout his career. If he pans out, he could fill in as one of those main pieces on a cup contending team. We're one of the youngest teams in hockey. Let's bring a Stanley Cup to the Bay Area. And we're getting closer to that cup contending team that I mentioned at the beginning, right? Now we're kind of just missing an offensive defenseman, actually defense in general, and some veterans who can teach our young guys what's up. So 2008, we brought back 35-year-old Sandis Ozolinsh. What? But it's clear he's retiring after this year, and we also signed one of the top scorers in hockey history, 2024 Hall of Fame, by the way, Jeremy Roenick, 38 years old. Okay, if the defense isn't good enough, let's get another great young player, defenseman Brian Campbell. Offense first, kind of an upgraded Christian Ehrhoff who can kind of teach Christian the ropes. Marleau had a brutal year. Fewer than 50 points when the bar is set as an 80-point guy is just not good enough, Patty. But I don't blame you for thinking it is, because this team is unreal again. Franchise record in points again. Look at this goal. No way Thornton just hit a no-look, spinorama, backdoor, tap-in pass from Marleau. What? Okay, maybe this is our year. Remember that speech about going out and making a difference? Well, what better time to exercise some demons than playing the Calgary Flames, a team that ruined our dreams a couple years ago. They still have Mika Kiprusoff, and they also have Owen Nolan. What the hell? They're not gonna beat us again though, are they? Games 1 through 3 were close, nail biters. But now the Sharks are down 2-1 entering game 4. First period, Iginla scores as he's done so many times before. Second period, Thornton to Marleau, and Klo gets one back, but Dion Phaneuf gets one for Calgary, and we're 1 period away from going down 3-1 in the series to Calgary and Mika Kiprusoff. 5 minutes left, Chichu scores. It's a tie game, dwindling. Last minute of hockey, 30 seconds left, and Thornton makes a move. Sharks win game 4. They carry the momentum to win game 5, but Owen Nolan gets the game winner in game 6. He plays for Calgary now though, remember? Down to a game 7 between 2 excellent hockey clubs. Early on, Thornton scores, assisted by Roenick, but Iginla gets one back. End of the first period. Owen Nolan scores for Calgary. Oh my god, there's no way this is happening again. We can't buy a goal on Kipper right now.
now shooting. Knocked down in front, gets it again, shoots, scores! Greer left in front, Pavelski shoots! He scores! The team's attention, but now the Sharks come back, and Setaguchi scores. He makes it.
As you can imagine, 5 goals is enough for Evgeny Nabokov to hold on, especially with guys like Marc-Edouard Vlasic clamping Calgary's offense. Jeremy Roenick just had a 4-point Game 7. That might be one of the best playoff performances from a 38-year-old in sports history. Now we're up against Dallas, and honestly, they're in kind of a similar position to us, except the previous version of this core won a cup in '99, so they have way less pressure. One of the biggest parts of this team is a deadline acquisition of Brad Richard, 27-year-old who won Conn Smythe a couple of years ago. This could be anyone's series, but damn, San Jose has a good chance here. Game 1, force overtime after Chichu scores with 3 minutes left. Dallas gets it though. Game 2, Pavelski gets us on the board first. They get one back. Halleck gets another, and then Dallas rattles off 4 straight. We're down 2-0. Okay, boys. Pavelski, you've been incredible for us so far, but we need the big guns right now. Thornton, Marleau, come on. Game 3, Marleau gets us on the board with a shorthanded goal. Attaboy. They tie it up. Okay, back to overtime. This series is so close, and we keep having these. Oh man, Dallas just scored. Okay, so no team has come back down 3-0 since like forever ago, but if there was anyone to do it, it's us. Game 4, we go down early, but Marleau with another shorthanded goal ties it, and you know how this story goes. Dallas. Oh, never mind. McCallum gets it. The series is 3-1. Thornton with the assist, Marleau with the shorthanded goal, Nabokov only 1 goal against on 18 shots. Great work, guys. Game 5, we got a bit of momentum, and we lost momentum. We allowed 2 goals early. Second period, nothing happens. Third period, come on, boys. Season's on the line here. McCallum, you beauty. 2-1 game. Brian Campbell gets one. Game is tied, and for the 3rd time in 5 games, we're going to overtime. Do you know who won it? Was it Dallas? Was it San Jose? Who was it? Joe Pavelski. This guy was a 7th round pick. People say it's one of the best draft picks in hockey history, and this is why. He shows up in big moments, and he shows up in the playoffs. Game 6, we have all the momentum, boys. Let's get it. Dallas strikes first, but early in the 3rd, Ryan Clough gets one back for us. Guess what time it is? Overtime, or should I say first overtime, because guess what? No one scored in first overtime, or the 2nd overtime, or the 3rd overtime, and 8 minutes into the 4th overtime of the night, Brian Campbell takes a penalty. Is it Patrick Marleau's shorthanded heroics? Nah. It's Brendan Morrow winning it for Dallas. The series is over. Dallas was exhausted from that round and lost to the cup-winning Red Wings in the next round. San Jose, that's the 3rd year in a row you lost in the 2nd round. It's not an easy choice, but head coach Ron Wilson, unfortunately, you're gone, man. We need a new voice for when times get hard in the playoffs, and Todd McLennan, you fill that role. Not much you can do after losing in quadruple overtime. You just gotta move on from it. Brian Campbell, that penalty was egregious, man. You're gone. If Campbell's gone, we need another defenseman though, and Tampa has his borderline superstar who could kind of fill that role, Dan Boyle. They're thinking of getting rid of him, so let's just grab him. Pretty easy to get him, so let's get another guy. Future Hall of Famer Rob Blake in free agency. Okay, and what the hell? Claude Lemieux? I thought this guy retired like 5 years ago. Okay, 43 years old, wants to come back to the NHL. Fine, yeah. Come on. In case you've lost your bearings of the team, here's the lines right now. First line, you got Marleau, Thornton, Setaguchi. All offense, superstars, speed, best playmaker in hockey, except for maybe Henrik Sedin or Sidney Crosby or something. And you got a sniper in Setaguchi. Second line, Clough, Pavelski, McCallum. It's power forwards and guys who can get deep. This is the hardest line to play against. Third line, you got Greer, Gotch, and Chichu. One of the best penalty killers in hockey, a great two-way guy, and a solid sniper with a bigger body. Tough. And then you can put Roenick, Lemieux, McGinn, everyone will just fit him in somewhere. On defense, it's Vlasic and Blake, one of the best shutdown pairs in hockey. You put them in the Pavelski line out there when you need to stop a goal late, and you'll probably shut them down. Second pair, Lukowicz and Boyle. This might even be a better shutdown pair, but the offense isn't really as strong. Third line, Ehrhoff and Murray. This line has so much potential, it's crazy, but they aren't necessarily ready for big moments yet. They have a lot of offensive potential, and they play some strong shutdown hockey. And then in net, it's Evgeny Nabokov, who, by the way, just finished 2nd in Vezina voting last year and is on everyone's top 5 goalies in the world list. Hopefully you got a good picture of what this team is like, because with a new coach, more experience year after year, and one of the deepest squads in the West for the next few years, this core is on the clock. 2009. This is Sharks hockey. Franchise record in wins and points. Another great season for Thornton, who, despite not hitting 90 points, still led the Sharks in points. Marleau bounced back, 71 points. 7 different guys who hit 50 points, including the entire top 6 and newly acquired D-man Dan Boyle, who finished 5th in Defenseman of the Year voting. Marleau and Pavelski got Selke votes. Nabokov finished 5th in Goalie of the Year voting. 4 different guys got MVP votes. I mean, this is the best team in hockey by a wide margin. So the Anaheim Ducks in the first round shouldn't be. We just lost to the 8-seeded Ducks in 6 games. What the hell? It all happened so quickly. Notable terrible performances. Well, pick a name off the roster list from the start of the year. Nabokov looked nothing like himself, had an .890 save percentage. Pavelski just 1 assist. Marleau just 3 points. 39-year-old Jeremy Roenick had 1 assist, and that's one of the better performances. Yeah, there's something up here. Something's got to change, and general manager Doug Wilson, he agrees. So Christian Ehrhoff, you're gone. Chichu, you're not a 56 goal scorer if you're not playing with Thornton, and we see that now. McCallick, you're actually unreal for us, but if there's a chance to upgrade you into a goddamn all-star from Ottawa, we're gonna take that chance. Danny Heatley, welcome to the Bay Area, buddy. Mike Greer, you're a beauty, but we're gonna sign another defensive penalty killer in Manny Malhotra. Hopefully just a bit of a different look, and let's get a new assistant coach while we're at it. Is that everything? Oh yeah, one last thing. Patrick Marleau, you're not the captain anymore. 2010. If you wanted changes, you got changes. Rob Blake is a captain now. Hopefully as a former Cup champion in 2001, there's a bit of maturity as captain that you can bring, even though Marleau is already 31 years old. Wow, time flies. Remember I was saying this core is on the clock now? Yeah, people are really starting to see that time is ticking away. Another amazing season from the new look Sharks. Death, taxes, and Sharks having unbelievable regular seasons. Danny Heatley fits in like a charm, and as good as McCallick was, he wasn't hitting 39 goals, 82-point seasons for us. All three of Marleau, Thornton, and Heatley finished top 15 in scoring this year. Easily the best line in hockey by most metrics. Boyle, Blake, Vlasic, Murray, all holding down the fort with rookie Jason Demers, who made the team. That's cool. He was a 7th round pick from 2008, and he's already playing minutes for us. Along with Logan Couture, who got some minutes near the end of the season, all of this roster is backed by Nabokov, who is still plugging away at 34 years old. Round one, this young Avalanche team, but we're the new experienced guys on the block. Bit of a rough start going down 2-1, but you know what? Get the hell out of our city. See ya. 6-game series, San Jose is going to round 2. There comes a time with a team where it seems like losing is just ingrained into the culture of the team. It almost always comes down to these hurdles, which, while they're entirely arbitrary, they represent the inability to move on. For San Jose right now, this team hasn't made the conference finals since before Joe Thornton was here. This round 2 means a lot, but to make matters worse for the boys, in round 2 we have the Detroit Red Wings, a team that's made the finals twice in the last 2 years and won the cup in 2008. It's not going to be easy, guys. Okay, game 1, statement game from the Sharks where Pavelski picks up goal number 7 of the playoffs in game number 7. What a beauty. Game 2, Pavelski picks up goals number 8 and 9. Sharks win game 2. Pavelski is a team hero. He's a hero. It's a 2-0 series. Okay, game 3, we're down 3-1. That's to be expected, but in the third period, Thornton and rookie Logan Couture get us back, and we're going to overtime where Thornton has it, passes to Marleau, and bang, we're up 3-0. Nothing can stop us, and oh man, what the hell? Okay, Johan Franzen just set like a playoff record, 4 goals and 6 points, and they win 7-1. I don't even know what the hell that was. Okay, game 5 in San Jose. Detroit scores first, but we get one back from Joe Thornton. Third period, Heatley shoots off the draw, goes for his own rebound, fights it over to Thornton, scans the ice, finds Marleau for the game winner on home ice. This building is more fired up than it's been in a long time. There's hope here. We're going to the conference finals. Who do we have? Who are we going up against? Oh, the 2010 Chicago Blackhawks. Like the beginning of the dynasty Chicago Blackhawks. Okay, well, here's where the hurdle analogy starts to make life feel impossible. You break through and you're back in the conference finals for the first time in 6 years. Marleau is 25, he's 31 now. Pavelski was in college, he's one of our key pieces now. Rob Blake was an old guy and he's even older now. And yet, we got swept by the Blackhawks, the team that went on to win in the finals. Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews weren't even in the NHL the last time we were in the conference finals, and now they're Cup champions. When we played Chicago, as if Patrick Kane and Jonathan Toews weren't enough, they have this random-ass goalie, Antti Niemi, who put up a .949 save percentage in the 4 games. Speaking of goalies, there's actually a problem that I've been kind of keeping from you. At the beginning of the year, Nabokov made it clear how much money he was expecting, and rightfully so. He's 34 years old and has gotten consistent Goalie of the Year nominations. And you know, if you're one of the best in the world at what you do, you'd be an idiot not to get paid fairly for it, but San Jose can't afford that. Backup Thomas Greiss played great in his limited minutes, and honestly, he's a lot younger, and you know what? Just ran the numbers, and I think we got to say goodbye to Evgeny Nabokov. Remember the how do we get to be a Cup winner from the beginning of the video? Well, one of the most important parts of every Cup winner is having a goalie who can step up. And now for the first time in a long time, we have to find one. Well, actually, looking at free agency here, we can maybe even just go after the guy who just stonewalled us from Chicago. Antti Niemi, welcome to San Jose, bro. By the way, this guy didn't play in the NHL until he was like 27. In the meantime, he was working part-time as a Zamboni driver, playing high-level hockey in Finland. Then he won the Cup in 2010, and now is a San Jose Shark, making $2 million a year for us. What a story. Another great story is Rob Blake is now retired. Not great for us, but you know, like good for him. Thornton's been huge for us, and there might be a little spitefulness here, but you know what? Joe Thornton, you're the brand new captain of the San Jose Sharks. And what a year to be named captain. In the third final game of the season, Thornton passed Marleau for most assists in franchise history, despite getting to the team 7 years after him. 2011 as a season overall is probably the least successful so far in the Thornton era though. Still made the playoffs, but when you're used to setting records every year in the regular season, 48 wins just isn't that sick a feeling anymore. Thornton only had 70 points and he's 31 years old now, so maybe he's just not a 100-point guy anymore. Like I said, guys, clock's ticking. First round, we're up against Los Angeles for the first time in franchise history. That's kind of weird. This is season 20 and we've been in the league and we've never matched up. Okay, well, LA is a super young team. We're experienced now. Let's take these goofs out in 6 games. Most notable things from this series though is one of these games had one of the biggest comebacks in playoff history. After LA was up 4-0, San Jose rallied for a 6-5 win, which killed LA's hopes. It also had a Thornton triple OT series winner in a legacy building moment. I mean, come on now, this is an awesome series. Hopefully those Kings don't learn from this and come back stronger in 2012 though. Whatever about the Kings, we've got bigger and better things to worry about, like a rematch with the Detroit Red Wings. Hopefully they didn't learn anything from their spanking last year. And maybe they did actually, because game 1, it's a nail biter. San Jose wins 2-1 in overtime. 2-point night for Dan Boyle. Game 2, it's a nail biter. San Jose wins 2-1 after a late push from Detroit. Game 3, it's a nail biter. San Jose wins 4-3 in overtime. Setaguchi scored the game-winning goal for his hat trick, and honestly, that might be the sickest moment of his career. There's a decent chance that's what he tells his grandkids about. Okay, wait, I just said Detroit learned something from last year, and I mean, clearly they didn't. They're down 3-0. It's the exact same spot as last year. Game 4, it's another nail biter, but with a minute left, Detroit scores to take the lead. Okay, well, if this is anything like last year, then we should take the win in game 5. Maybe Marleau scores another beauty game winner. Game 5, nail biter. After going down 3-1 in the third, Detroit rattles off 3 of their own and they win 4-3. Okay, I mean, we still have 2 games to close it out here, so let's not screw this up, guys. Okay, game 6, a nail biter. It was a 0-0 game until the third period. Couture gets one for San Jose. Detroit ties it up with 9 minutes left. Detroit gets another and they get the empty netter. This series is tied 3-3. What the hell, guys? If you watch the Cup Finals in real life this year, 2024, you would know how absolutely insane it is to go up 3-0 and then have it be 3-3. Game 7, basically the entire roster's legacy is on the line. Game in San Jose. Thornton behind the net, zips it to Setaguchi. One-timer, scores. Building is rocking. 1-0 Sharks. Zetterberg tries to clear it to end the first, pickpocketed by 22-year-old Logan Couture and snipes it. 2-0 Sharks. Couture is a playoff demon. This guy knows how to show up, but Zetterberg also knows how to make up for his mistakes and he gets one back. It's the third period, 6 minutes left, 1-goal game. Patrick Marleau streaking down the wing, crashes the net, shovels in the rebound for his first point of the series, which after a beauty Datsuk goal to make this game a nail biter, Marleau's goal would be the game winner. And for the second year in a row, Patrick Marleau set San Jose to the conference finals, where they're playing the Vancouver Canucks, the best team in hockey. No one said it would be easy, so okay, we have no idea how to stop Henrik Sedin. Remember earlier when I said Thornton is probably the best passer in the league, but there might be another guy who could be better? Henrik Sedin. Game 1, we were up 2-1. Henrik Sedin assisted on the game-tying goal and then scored the game winner for Vancouver. Game 2, Henrik Sedin had a 3-assist night. That's 5 points in 2 games. Game 3, Patrick Marleau has a 3-point night to secure us a 4-3 win. The series is close, but in Game 4, Henrik Sedin has a 4-assist night and we lose. What the hell are we supposed to do? He has 10 points in 4 games. Well, okay, we can still fight this. 3-1 series is nothing. Detroit almost just beat us after being down 3-0. Game 5, Henrik Sedin gets point number 11. Assisting on an Alex Burrows goal, but we get one right back. And another. We're up 2-1. We got this in the... Oh my god, Vancouver just tied it up with 14 seconds left to send it to overtime. It's not just one overtime, it's double overtime. The series was over. Is that disappointing? What are we doing here? The worst part of the hurdle analogy is that there's always another hurdle. Sometimes teams can just get the rhythm and they go from there, but sometimes the second round hurdle turns into the conference finals hurdle. Every offseason feels like we're making a major move, and well, how could you not? Setaguchi, Coyle, who's a first round pick from last year, pretty good prospect, and a first to Minnesota for Brent Burns. That's a bit of a blockbuster because we kind of just got Dan Boyle 2.0, except Burns is super young. He's the same age as Pavelski, and that should align with our core's playoff hopes nicely, which is actually kind of scary. You know what? You're right. We are kind of old. Heatley, you can go to Minnesota too. Let's get Martin Havlat. He's younger and he always seems to show up in the playoffs. Okay, so it's the third offseason in a row. We've made huge moves and doubled, or I guess tripled or quadrupled down on this core. 2012, this is our year. Okay, so this was the worst year so far in the Thornton era, in terms of regular season at least, but it seems like when we do worse in the regular season, we do better in the playoffs, which is good because we made the playoffs still. Round 1 up against St. Louis, and they don't really have anyone crazy apart from this freak goaltending season out of Brian Elliott, and wow, we got smoked in 5 games. Joe Thornton is 32 years old. Patrick Marleau is 32 years old. Dan Boyle is 35 years old. In the NHL, you can describe this as an old team. The management here is great, and we always have guys coming up, which means we kind of have our second core in Pavelski, Burns, Greiss. Vlasic is only 24 years old. What the hell? Feels like he's been in the league forever. Couture is literally the youngest guy on this team, and he's second on the team in points, but we're not getting any better. The 2012 draft is super weird. Let's just take this Czech guy, Thomas Hertl, and oh, there's another lockout. What are the ramifications of this lockout? Okay, for all intents and purposes of this video, nothing rule changes wise, but the season is only 48 games this year to compensate for the lockout, so maybe for Thornton and Marleau, a shorter season will keep some energy for the playoffs. We got another old former Shark back, Brad Stewart, and our penalty kill was so bad last year that we got all-time Hall of Famer Larry Robinson to be our penalty kill coach. 2012-13 season, 26-15-7 record means we're actually in a decent spot, but over the pace of a full season, that's not unreal. That's not winning any hardware, except for Antti Niemi, who finished third in Vezina voting. Damn, San Jose always has great goaltenders stepping up. Okay, we're against Vancouver again. We went pretty damn poorly last time, and whoa, we swept them. That's the first sweep in franchise history. Isn't that kind of weird? That took 22 years. It's interesting because the Marleau-Thornton era is kind of becoming the Pavelski-Couture era right in front of our eyes, and that's exciting because Marleau and Thornton are still great players. Maybe this culmination of veteran franchise pieces and younger talent filling into their roles is what gets us over the hump. That being said, in Game 4 overtime, guess who scored the game winner? Okay, we're up against a reigning Cup champion Los Angeles Kings who look absolutely piss scary. We beat them before, we beat the same players, let's do it again. Game 1, Jonathan Quick has a 35 save shutout. Do you guys know who Jonathan Quick is? There's a legitimate argument that pound for pound, this is the greatest playoff performer of all time. He just won Los Angeles a game where they got outshot 35-20. Game 2, LA goes up early again, scores twice. This isn't easy, man, but who else but Patrick Marleau to break Quick's series-long shutout, and that makes it feel a whole lot easier. Brad Stewart gets one, then Vlasic scores a big goal, which is really uncharacteristic of him. Up 3-2 with a little over a minute left, and Stewart, the guy who got the 2-2 goal, takes a penalty. Man, okay, we can kill this, and especially with guys like Vlasic out there, and oh man, Vlasic just flipped it over the glass. They have a 5-on-3 man advantage. What the hell, guys? LA gets one. 30 seconds later, still on the power play, they get another. LA wins the game 4-3. San Jose won games 3 and 4, both from Couture game winners. Quick shuts us out again in game 5, and we win our third game 2-1, making it a 3-3 series, where Justin Williams, the guy whose name is literally Mr. Game 7, goes out and scores both Kings goals in a 2-1 win in game 7. Up 3-2 late, the series was right there. Quick is the kind of goalie where if you get 3 goals in a game, you have to win it, and it just didn't happen in game 2. That was the only game in this series where San Jose scored more than twice, and somehow it still went to 7 games. It's just one of those series that you wish you could have that moment back in game 2. Another year goes by without any hardware in the Bay Area. Joe Thornton turned 34 years old over the summer. TikTok. It's a 2013-14 season, and for the first time since 2006, the leading scorer on this team isn't Thornton or Marleau, it's Joe Pavelski. The most notable thing from this season, Thomas Hertl, the 2012 draft pick, is an absolute beast. He got a 4-goal game and basically retired goalie Martin Biron. Hertl is an all situations forward, kind of big body that, along with Couture and Pavelski, are part of this identity that has grown so strong in San Jose. Hertl's added youth as a 20-year-old is part of the reason that San Jose is a threat again. 111 points, the highest total since 2010, and the third highest total in franchise history. California hockey is buzzing though. We have 111 points. We're not even first in the division. That's Anaheim, who has 116. And right behind us is our first round opponents, Los Angeles. Oh my god, it's always a team that just beat us. I hate playing against Jonathan Quick. Whoa, 6 goals for the Sharks in game 1, 7 goals for the Sharks in game 2, another Patrick Marleau overtime winner in game 3. It's a 3-0 series. All right, LA, see ya. Game 4, they got one back, no worries. Game 5, okay, Quick shut us out. I mean, you can expect that to happen. Game 6, oh my god, they just forced a game 7. Okay, we've been here before, but there's no way. I'm telling you, there's no way we're gonna give up a 3-0 lead in the playoffs. Okay, I think general manager Doug Wilson said it best. This team, come playoff time, is like Charlie Brown trying to kick a football. Just isn't happening. Okay, so Marleau was captain, and then he lost it after a super disappointing playoff run. And you know what, Thornton, I think it's time you go through that experience too. Let's make you guys earn captaincy this training camp. Who wants it? Oh my god, guys, none of you guys want it? Fine, no captain this year. We'll try anything at this point because Pavelski is 30 years old already. Marleau and Thornton are 35 years old. Tick-tock, guys, not many years left to make it happen, and 2015 is the worst year of the Thornton era. How bad is it? We didn't even make the playoffs. For a team that hasn't missed a playoff since 2003, I don't even know what to say. Our leading scorers are Pavelski and Couture. Maybe one of them should be captain. This is the first time since 1997, the year we drafted Marleau, that we missed the playoffs while keeping the same coach for the entire season. Okay, Todd McLennan, you've coached the best years of hockey in San Jose, but unfortunately you gotta go, man. We got a new coach, Pete DeBauer. This guy took New Jersey from missing the playoffs to making the finals back in 2012, but apart from that, he's pretty inexperienced. 2015 draft, Timo Meier looks great. Big body forward, plays all situations, knows how to score goals. Yeah, sounds like a San Jose pick to me. Okay, so this is kind of it for us. We missed the playoffs, and our franchise-defining names, Thornton and Marleau, are 36 years old. We can't just miss the playoffs and expect to keep the same roster. We need more youth. Martin Jones, this backup in LA, looks ready for a starting role, so let's try to get him over here. Joel Ward, old as hell, but he's a great body to fill in for us. Defense needs a bit of a new look. Paul Martin is this great defense first addition. Dylan DeMello, a younger defenseman who can fill in on the bottom pair for us, and hopefully some of our Hurdles and Goudreaus and Donskoys, the super young depth guys, can take a step and take some of the load off of Thornton and Marleau. Okay, San Jose is different. Again, maybe a new coach, new depth, new goalie, younger guys getting better, and a new captain can get us somewhere in these playoffs. Maybe. The clock is ticking, but more importantly, it is ticking. If we don't win the cup this year, we have maybe 1 or 2 more shots, but this is kind of our last chance. We missed the playoffs last year, and now we're talking about last dance. Here's the crazy part. The hurdle has changed so many times that it isn't even just one hurdle. It's not even one specific challenge. It's that this team just can't make the final. They just can't compete when they need to, and start of the 2015-16 season, it's the same story. But after a super slow start to the season, DeBoer's system started to kind of figure itself out. In the back half of the year, San Jose had the 4th best record in hockey, and entering the playoffs looked like the team to beat. Okay, I know I was super pessimistic like 20 seconds ago, but what even is different? How did this team miss the playoffs, keep a marginally similar team, and then become a serious threat in the West? Well, Brent Burns is now one of the best defensemen in hockey, period. There's a handful of names that are arguably better, but no one has the skill set of a shot as hard as Burns, a body as big as Burns, plays right defense, the hardest position in the sport to fill, and can pass and quarterback a power play. He finished 3rd in Defenseman of the Year voting and scored 27 goals as a defenseman. Joe Thornton can still score points like an animal. Point per game as a 36-year-old. Insane. But it's become really a pass first, second, and third mentality at this point, despite the...
Thornton said, "Shut up. Have you ever played the game?" And then when the press turned his way, because obviously that is what he wanted the attention, he then added, "I'd have my cock out if I scored 4 goals."
Pavelski's defense-first mindset is huge as captain. Depth pieces, Donskoy, Ward, and deadline edition Brennan Dillon all fit that big body depth addition role that playoff teams need. And Martin Jones is a really good starting goaltender. No way LA just let us have this guy. Speaking of LA, we're up against them in round 1, but something's different this year. Martin Jones looks better than Quick. Burns looks better than current defenseman of the year Drew Doughty, and Pavelski looks better than Kings captain Anze Kopitar. We won the series in 5 games, and the only loss was a Game 3 overtime loss. Call it a Jonathan Quick legacy game, but San Jose is on to round 2 against Nashville, and oh my god, they are a grimy team. With a defensive core of Shea Weber, Roman Josi, Matthias Ekholm, Ryan Ellis. Jesus, this is gonna be some work. Game 1, they go up early, but despite not scoring until the 3rd period, we blow them up with 5 goals in 15 minutes. Don't celebrate too early against this Sharks team. Game 2, it's a 1-1 game, and Pavelski gets one to go up ahead with just 2 minutes left. Atta boy cap. Thornton sinks an empty netter, and Nashville actually gets one back. Oh my god, that was kind of close at the end there, but we're up 2-0 in this series. Game 3, Marleau scores first, but Nashville's defense gets a point on all 4 of Nashville's goals, and they win the game 4-1. Game 4, blood is in the water. We're Sharks, and we can take a stranglehold here. We're playing in the notoriously hard to play in Bridgestone Arena. Couture picks up points number 5 and 6 of the series, but we're headed to overtime, and a second overtime, and a third overtime, and Mike Fisher scores for Nashville. Damn it. Game 5, back to San Jose. We win 5-1. When everyone steps up, it's impossible to lose. Game 6, let's put this series away. We get 2 goals early and they get 2 goals back. Third period, and Logan Couture again gets point number 8 on this series, and we're going, oh, they tied it back up. We're going to overtime and they score. Game 7, oh my god, do we need this? Thornton needs this. Marleau needs this. I mean, damn, even Pavelski is getting old at this point. For once, can we just go on a bit of a run here? On home ice, Pavelski scores early. Joel Ward gets another for us. Couture gets point number 9 on a goal. Couture gets points number 10 and 11 on this series, assisting on 2 more goals. Remember when I talked about heroes that step up? Joel Ward is that hero. We just won 5-0, and we're back in the conference finals for the 4th time in franchise history. We're against the Blues, who, between you and me, might have the best goalie in hockey. And there's a bunch of strong defensive weapons and certified NHL cover athlete Vladimir Tarasenko. This isn't going to be easy. Proven by the fact that we're down 1-0 in the series after game 1, but come on, give us some credit. We're a good team. We're so good that in game 2, we can shut you out and win 4-0. We're good enough that in game 3, we can shut you out and win 3-0. Entering game 4, St. Louis hasn't scored a goal since less than halfway through game 1. They are actually rattled. They have no idea how to score. Okay, they win 6-3 in game 4, but you know what? We can do that too. Want us to show you? Sharks win 6-3 in game 5. Okay, this is it. Game 6, the closest the Sharks have ever come to the Cup final. Ever. First period, Pavelski gets one early, his 13th of the playoffs. Second period, Joel Ward gets one. We're up 2-0 entering the third period. Marleau to Couture to Joel Ward, and it's 3-0. Marleau to Couture to Donskoy, and it's 4-0. Oh my god, we're actually going to do it. Tarasenko gets one back for them. Damn, he's good. Oh, he just got another one back, and there's still time on the clock, and oh, Couture sank the empty netter. 24th point of the playoffs, a franchise record for playoff points. He's the heart and soul of a team that is going to the Cup finals to face off against Sidney Crosby's Pittsburgh Penguins. What do you do if you're in the finals for the first time against a legendary team like Pittsburgh? A team with experience. Thornton and Marleau are older than Crosby. Don't they have more experience? They've played for longer. What even is experience? What does it even mean to be a winner? Game 1, tied 2-2, 2 minutes left in the game. Nick Bonino scores to win it for Pittsburgh. Is hockey just, at the end of the day, about getting the right bounces? If Vlasic shot that puck just a little lower and it didn't go over the glass in 2013, do they have a chance at the Cup that year? Game 2, Sharks tie it up late. 1-1 game, goes to overtime. Connor Sheary scores for Pittsburgh. It's a 2-0 series. Remember 2014, the reverse sweep? That was 2 years ago. You know LA won the Cup that year after coming back? What if San Jose found a way to win just one of those games? Just one win would have made San Jose the favorite that year. Game 3, Joel Ward ties it up late for San Jose, goes to overtime. On home ice, Joonas Donskoy scores, and the series is 2-1. Remember 2004? What if we never let Kipper go? Calgary didn't win it that year, but they did come literal inches away. Maybe we would have fared better against Tampa Bay. Maybe Marleau could have had some magic. Maybe Dampus and Ricci would have shut down Le Cavalier in St. Louis. Game 4, Malkin scores to make it 2-0. We get one back, but they ice it. 3-1 final score, 3-1 series. What about the Owen Nolan years? What if we found a way to score in that Game 7 against Colorado in 2002? We just couldn't get anything on Roy. The boys tried. They wanted it bad, but it just didn't happen. Game 5, Couture's 3-point night puts San Jose up 3-2 in the first period. They hold on and Pavelski gets the empty netter. Is there even such a thing as winners and losers? Or is it just right place, right time? We could have beat Toronto in 1994. What a legacy that would have been. Imagine we made the finals. Or what if we took Niedermeyer instead of Pat Falloon? Or even if we were allowed to get 2016 Stanley Cup Finals, we track the rebound, or we don't let Crosby get to it first, or Pavelski blocks Letang's shot, or in the end, it's all what ifs, but it just never happened. Pittsburgh wins the Stanley Cup, and in 6 games, San Jose lost its best shot at victory it's ever had. And you know what's crazy? They've never come that close to winning it all, ever again. 2017, they lose to Connor McDavid, MVP of the NHL, and he was 6 months old the day Thornton and Marleau got drafted. 2018, Marleau was gone. He's embraced a legacy of being a teacher and tries to give Toronto something he couldn't give the Sharks. San Jose lost that year in 6 games in round 2 to Vegas, a team that didn't even exist a year ago. 2019, the Sharks sell the farm to get Erik Karlsson, and another miracle run was brewing until it wasn't, and they lose to the cup-winning Blues in the conference finals. 2020, lockdown, and they missed the playoffs. For the first time in franchise history, it truly feels hopeless trying to get back in. Captain Joe Pavelski left to go to Dallas to chase a chance at winning it all. Their first round pick from the Karlsson trade goes to Ottawa and turns into a franchise-defining player for them. He's a German body who can play in all situations and knows how to score. Would have been such a good San Jose Shark. 2021, Joe Thornton's gone. He wants to win it all too. First going to Toronto, then to Florida, and then retiring. 2022, another year missing the playoffs. The team needs to rebuild, and so it's going to start taking bids on Hurdle, Meyer, Carlson, Burns. 2023, Burns goes to Carolina for his chance at a ring. Meyer gets traded to New Jersey. 2024, Erik Karlsson is a Penguin and Hurdle is a Golden Knight. The only guys remaining from that 2016 team, Logan Couture, if he doesn't retire from injury issues, and Marc-Edouard Vlasic, and I guess Goudreau, because he just got claimed off waivers a couple weeks ago. And so I guess now it's today. What's next? Well, do you remember Mike Greer, the penalty killer from those awesome late 2000s teams? He's a GM now, the first ever black GM in NHL history, and he's building San Jose back up into something pretty cool. Will Smith was taken 4th overall last year, one of the best prospects in hockey. Eklund was grabbed a couple years ago, another great prospect. Hurdle and Meyer trades got them some prospects, and most importantly, they just drafted Macklin Celebrini 1st overall.
From Boston University, Macklin Celebrini.
One of the best prospects hockey has seen in a long time. He even grew up living partially in the Bay Area because his dad was the personal trainer for the Golden State Warriors, the guy for Steph Curry's ankle. Super weird lore. Draymond Green talked about how cool Macklin is. That's funny. In the end, Marleau never got a cup. Thornton never got a cup. Burns never got a cup. Nolan never got a cup. Falloon never got a cup. But there's hope in San Jose. One day, Celebrini will be one of those names with stories of playoff overtime winners, legacy nights where he puts the team on his back, personal hardware. This city has a lot of legends, but hopefully, this next era of Sharks hockey finally takes him over the finish line.